very clear as to what their mandate was. But as I said, eventually they became willing tools for a massive cover-up scheme that happened. I wanted him to comment on that. Additional thing to yours, Council.
Chairman, come in wala mnyintinunko. Nyilinka dole sotonta me alonka laftanu sedo ya seneyandi. Wala mnyintitela biri tombo ye sasi. Ase keno wodamanta dulato ila lotan kango nyanta kelamenti aman seneya itelu fangulu mababa bake. Bari kobe kola biri dunta kono itelu fangulu nata ke moluti menu wakilita isonta ipareta fanampurka kolu tamandi nyama anatala nyama teng. Me alonko nyine nata fintije ko filindirole ba ko kono alaftanu mpuru bitun sedo se odinkra nu seneyandi dum.
Thank you, Council.
Council.
I want to make it known to this Honorable Commission that during the inception of the constitution of that task force,
task force,
like I said earlier on, that we were not to investigate, that we will serve as a front for government for a fact-finding mission that will visit the country. And that any question posed to government, we are to provide the answers. And this answer does not necessarily mean we think about it. Because among the group, only two were privy, two or three were privy of the previous investigations that we are carried on. And any answer that will be provided to that fact-finding mission, the task force would have to consult the necessary institution concerned, and if to provide the necessary answers. At face value, we thought it was that easy, because there were almost ready-made answers that were there from the previous investigations. And also escorting the fact-finding mission to places that they may want to go to. And make available people that they may want to ask questions. Having got deep into the entire situation or the entire issue, we knew, let me say, I knew most of what we are saying is not existing. So I want to agree what you are alleging right now. It's factual, final and binding. I hope I've answered their questions, sir.
Mr. Witness.
So, In November of 2007,
November 2007
the NIA investigated the leaked information about Gambia government being allegedly involved with the killing of the Ghanaians. In the Gambia. Are you aware of that? Which year was that, sir? In 2007.
2007
I'm not aware, sir.
Ndamambo kalama, sir.
Take a look at this document. Were you at the NIA at this time? I was, but then I had not assumed that position of Director Internal Security and Operations.
Mbijele de nyintembo bari wayatara mam palaso ta follow memu director palaso ti memmarta kono bankola kono kantola aning do kulu sambanya director mau palaso ta otumo.
This was in November 2007.
Ninketa November karola kono 2007 sango.
I agree with you, sir.
Nsonte la kumola.
What position did you hold at the time?
I was Director of Operations. Of
course, and the information gathered for the purposes of this report, would it have been put together by your department? No, not at all. Nor was I privy to this information. But this was as at November 2007. Could you let me direct you to some paragraphs in the letter? Could you look at the letterhead? Where does it emanate? Well, there's no letterhead.
There is none here.
Does the NIA conduct its business in that way? No letterhead? Well, I don't think it should be this way. Look at the signature at the bottom. Who signed the document? The Acting Director General.
Director General
Name?
Captain Malamin Jaju. Captain Malamin Jaju.
At this time in November 2007, who was the Director General?
November 2007, NIA.
He was.
Do
you have any reason to doubt that this letter emanated from the NIA? I don't have to doubt this letter. Okay, what is the date?
13th November 2007. November 2007.
Addressed to who?
The Secretary General, Office of the President. Secretary General member President Office.
That page that you're looking at, what is it purporting to do?
Submitting a report.
A report on what?
This was an alleged leakage of information to the Ghanaian embassy in Dakar, Senegal. Kibaru le sotonta menkullo to yole to fintita ya kibaru di Ghana la embassy ola men ya lonko wollebe Dakar, Senegal.
about the alleged murder of some Ghanaians in Gambian territory.
Ando abe mem fo kan wolem nyinti wo kibaro me ya di Dakar aka molle la kumo fo koy ganan ko dolle fa Gambia banko kanjang.
But you would agree with me that this report would have to have been put together by at least one unit in the NIA.
Menuba sababu la pruka to bendino nyokang abe bola dingira to mealon kabe bola fanna kilne la NIA bulujeto.
It's possible.
Asikeno.
Most likely.
Sikeno.
True.
The DG would not draft a report.
DG jama DG memu nyaton koti atabu jama atabu ka reporto safe.
You agree?
Very true indeed.
The report would have to be written by a unit.
Reporto nyi mendal daga ka anyanta bola budundo ku bunda nyinga e fanna dolla.
Either internal security and operations.
Fabe bola bunda la meme alon ko atele man kono tanko ku nyala ning do ko sabta mandrinya
which oversees investigations.
Men yalon ko kiskisiro ku nyal fana itolle ke nyal chodi je itolle ka nye nyalo je.
Or external security.
Waranton tanko topoto nya bantala.
It's possible.
And you would agree that it's not only possible, it is plausible that this report was in fact done by your unit.
Not to my
knowledge, sir.
But look at the first paragraph. Could you read it out, please?
The introduction. Following the discovery of dead bodies, identified as Ghanaian nationals in Brufut, sometimes in 2005, the Gambia government instituted investigation, established the circumstances surrounding the episode. As the investigation progresses, information emanated from the Ghanaian authorities suggesting foul play involving government agents. The allegation from the Ghanaian authorities was without substance.
Stop. That was false.
Yes.
And this was the NIA writing to the Secretary General in 2007, November 2007.
Secretary General 2007 November.
Still peddling falsehood.
Agreed.
Good. Could you send me?
And I would suggest the signee come and explain.
By the way, is he still alive?
I last saw him in 2017, I think. 2016, 2017.
2016, 2017
and I don't know actually, and I have ceased to see him for quite a time now.
And I
hope all is well with him.
I want you to look at the last paragraph in the report. Would you read it out? Recommendations.
There is confession from the suspect
just a moment. The suspect here, the confession would be referring to the person who allegedly leaked the information to the Ghanaians.
Council commencing and wole me ka fome di suspect so boketa menna wole moti meye nyin kibaro kulloto yolendi ka di ganan kolla.
that she did communicate the information received from the Ghanaian detainees.
Ay kibaro sotole chakinyolo me ya lonko wolem kibaroti men denta ganan ko lañi molla men mutanu.
So there are families in Dakar.
Ila badi ngulu men be siri in Dakar.
These, according to facts, were made possible
kuma kangulu men sotonta ya itandi nyamen ko wo sotonta nyamin
through visits she made to his boyfriend at the PIU HQ in Kanifing.
Atata ayo kibaro soto nyamen akatala kamba nole ya kumpa borola me ya lonko wole be PIU la Cordato Kanifing.
The boyfriend was not aware of the extra maneuvers that she was making with the Ghanaian detainees.
Kato ko kambano nyinga tela kambano akata me ya utumo wo mambo nyinkala mako nyimuso menkana ateya wo ka kudolu fanalu sotola nimmolu ka kafu dunyoto men ya lonko wolemo ganan koluti men mutanu.
Considering the complexity of the information and the timing,
niajube kibaro nyina kolu lanya aninga natafindi wato men.
It is recommended that the whole thing be downplayed in the interest of national security.
Wotonyi ya marombe nyindi la konga nyinko doyandi nga mabo kuru bankola kantoni ntankada kama bankoto dia kama.
And that is the clincher.
Betong council ko betong wole fango ekolu bete wole kasolute.
That in view of the complexity of the issue, it's being suggested to government to make it hush-hush because of national security. What national security? It's a national crime.
Bankola kruyale muote ne ajube menu martala.
Not national security.
Amanke bankola tankada kutide.
You agree?
Council.
Council.
There are varying degrees of the way people comprehend things.
Please let me learn, sir. Let's just call a spade. This was covering.
They have lied.
This was covering a national shame. It was not national security. It was covering up a national shame.
Interestingly, I was listening by accident and I heard you spoke about the base of pigs operation.
Akata ko mbella moy kan la moy ro nyin kono e la dia mo kono inata na kumafo e ka fa me the bay of pigs operation me ya
one of the deliberations of the witnesses here.
We atara modobe CDR la jangutumo
either Osman Jallo or Jibril Ngor Seka,
asika Usman Jallo lem wala Jibril Ngor Seka,
or somebody else.
Wala modo kotengo.
It was in respect of this same issue.
Bari abebe dendi nyin ku kilingo le bala.
That bag of pigs operations that was done in America.
E kamen fotengo bay of pigs do ko menketanu America banko kan.
That operation was coordinated,
wo do ko fango meya be kumbeng,
orchestrated,
financed
by the American government. But up to today, American government has never accepted their role in that operation. This is why I said the perception here might be different. Here is a Director General who has unearthed the truth, and he is now advising government. Well, I want to believe everything that has been said here is blunted lie, big black lie.
Woton lafta lala nyina ko iteli nyin kuma kan lu menu be fay ñoo kan jang fani afimba
But I want you to understand one thing about the work of security. Especially on the side of intelligence. Which in my view I'll call the cloak and dagger game. And I will leave you to do the analysis yourself with the rest.
And that's why we asked you the question. This letter aimed to downplay a national shame. But it was not in the interest of national security. Do you agree?
Agreed.
Fantastic. And after the fact-finding mission came, they put together a report that was sent to Gambia. And they picked up on some of the points that were sent, that were given to them. Mr. Chair, I am looking at Exhibit 207B. And in paragraph 6, they said the following. In exchange of correspondence between the governments of the Gambia and Ghana, in particular in a letter from then Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs of the Gambia, Honorable Lamin Kaba Bajo, dated 2nd December 2005, addressed to the Honorable Nana Akufo-Addo, the then Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ghana,
later on is a safe me anyana tala me wolem Nana Akufo-Addo de me alonko wato la telem Ghana la minister de me alonko atele marli limbandala bankol tema,
stated in part as follows.
I memfoje wala munyinti later on.
Good. On July 23rd, 2005,
July 2005,
the said group, that is reference group of West African nationals in prior paragraph, attempted to reach Bara. Given the suspicious nature of their entry into and presence at Bara, the group was detained by security services. The said letter stated further, quote, following preliminary investigations, it came to light that the group had fallen victim of unscrupulous human traffickers who had taken monies from them to Europe. Consequently, the group was cautioned and released on humanitarian grounds. So this story was maintained by Gambia government even up to December of 2007. Of 2008.
Gambia masakunda nyi nkumakawni yoni sabatende for December 2008 sankono.
Another important lie
fania kumado fana mbeje kotenke.
Correct?
Shall we say Baldadash?
No baldadas.
Is that Turkish or what?
It's English language. Means lies.
I don't know that word. Thank you very much. I would write it down.
English, it means lies.
Yes. But your task force participated in entrenching this lie.
Bari yalla kafoni mellon de pour kanyum ko nyim jube wol fa na na sabar ko wol fa na lafaro kele pour kanyum fani yani ka lafa.
You agree?
Son.
In the sense, yes.
Nyalo nyama ha.
Because we were relying on the reports that those previous investigations had.
Kadun telube jikirin num kibaro lela mbe sujirin wol lela men yalon ko kisikisir la folol yewol leke.
The answers contained in those in those investigation reports
Wolaw kisikisiro ye kibaro la aniye kolu menu fintindi
is what we were relying on believing and subsequently furnishing it to those concerned. In consultation with the authorities.
But you all knew that information was false.
Council, like I said, that fact is as clear as the broad daylight. I'm very sorry to say that I wouldn't want us to labor, but I said that everything was there and the suspicion was there.
I do not want to reduce it to suspicion. You all had knowledge. You said it is clear. So that is different from suspicion. You all knew quite clearly.
It was a clear and present fact. But because of the perpetrators did not come out and say we did it, you will not want to, you always had your reservation on that.
Kamu muto nyalti ko findita nyaming alankene mata abanketa aseneata lew. But wairi mansede ya kusutomba sembendila menna. Adu menu baratala wolu fanalu man findika fokontele nyinke ngakete nganyineke. Wala na foi mari yela sobo soto dal yelo dula soto bedana dami.
I am prepared to accept that you did not have all the information. But you had sufficient information to know that the information that was given to you to be passed on to the Ghanaians was false. So therefore, with that knowledge, you all participated in a cover-up of a national shame for the Gambia government. True.
Unwittingly.
But I am not prepared to accept that qualification. It was done wittingly, deliberately, expertly, consciously, willfully, with full knowledge.
Chair, I beg to ask counsel this question, please. I swear to Allah, counsel, if you were there, you were not going to do otherwise. Knowing the wrath that will be meted out to you, when you know all that, I swear nobody would do otherwise. Are
you saying that to confirm the proposition I have made to you?
Very correct.
That you all acted deliberately, consciously, with full knowledge that the government was making you all to lie and cover up the national shame.
We were being given those information to give.
But the thing is, you are still answering a different question. The question is, you all did that with full knowledge of the fact that you were feeding lies to cover up a national shame.
Very correct, sir, because we were not at liberty.
Tonyala yafanya mi tonyala hakang barin telufanalu mantaram fansawo.
And that was why the diaries were doctored.
Now, when it comes to this diary thing, it's now when this testimony happened, I come to realize some of these diaries were doctored.
Biring asedayaro ketajang diamulalu diamuta utembolong anata ko entema ko yara tonya hani wo diary ulufangulu yebulo mailale kakulu falinje.
I want to tell this honorable commission.
Lefta nyim fola nyim commission bu ñaari ngoyen ko.
I was not in all the sittings.
Ndema mabe ila bengulu beto de.
Some of my absence were definitely deliberate.
No, I'll just ask you why. The very obvious.
It's not to get myself too involved into those lies. The day this diary was being given or presented, it was handed over to the honorable minister, currently honorable minister. I remember it was during a weekend by Jabang and Numo. Where it came from, I don't know. But I suspected that was the Bara diary.
Why?
Because that was the question asked, that they want to see the Bara diary.
At a time when Gambia government was denying that they had in fact landed in Bara. Correct?
That's correct.
At a time when Gambia government is saying that all these people
were released on humanitarian bail and they disappeared into thin air.
Yeah. So, I mean, with all this, you were being warned to be careful. You deliberately absented yourself sometimes. Why?
Council is if you are sick and your report is that you are sick, there is nothing that can make you well. One example. I was Director of Internal Security Operations.
Director of Internal Operations la Carola Otumo.
There were other numerous other operations going on in the country. At that material point in time, amongst all the panel members, I happen to hold more responsibilities than any of them. There were instances that it's possible that I cannot be present at all times.
The question is not when you have legitimate excuse to be absent. The question is, why did you deliberately absent yourself sometimes? And also, why would anybody advise you to be careful with that activity?
having knowledge of what had transpired,
londo sotoringo kola ka long menketa,
getting too jittery and being afraid.
hanufo anate mari dewundi foi silata.
You see,
Just finish that.
being jittery and be afraid,
dewundi aninka sila.
at least if you are going to be involved,
Bitu kan natara be wakila ke dabulaji.
let it be minimal.
Ay kanyande.
At least your presence is recognized.
Katu ilataro jede isiojele.
So that you cannot be beating on both sides.
Katu ite tantango kosila nyafulo bema.
No, you can't. Ite bute la karafulo bela.
Wala mnyindi ite bute la karafulo bela.
So essentially, you try to preserve yourself by being present now and again.
Partial presence.
And this is as a result of the fact that you had full knowledge. It was dangerous to proceed in this activity.
And wayatara yekibaro soto kulula membe keri menketa andung asikeno kusangara ringoti yetentenke fandundi nyinkokon.
The knowledge was not official, but my suspicion were very correct.
Ngalondo men soto amanke ko ngasoto mansala silole la wala londo la bari kule meya lonko nte fango sobita ala nyami andu na sobo anatake kuti meya lon wala kusoto ringoti.
I have one observation. Tell me whether I'm wrong. This task force is comprised of all the people who would have the relevant information.
Task force ni me munyin ka fote mentom mo molle me alon ko be kono alon ko be molle me alon ko nyin kibaro be kume kumpaje kaso ibaso la.
You mean our task force?
Yes.
Wala mun telanyin ka foti ha.
The Director of Internal Security and Operations at the NIA.
Director me alon ko adala marlin tanko kunya la kono ro anim banta anim do ko tamandri nyal NIA.
If there is any
ning ayatara
chance of a major leakage,
that
is one important area where such leakage could come from. Correct?
It's possible.
So they chose the boss of that place to ensure no leakage. The CMC, the Crime Management Coordinator, the person who oversees the investigation of all crimes in the country.
Crime Management Coordinator, me alonko atele kay ku jawol ke be kafunyo ke tobendi nyokan of banko kanjang.
And the person who carried out the initial investigations.
And the mola me alonko follow to me alonko atele kiskisiro nyindamura.
Those are the people comprised in this task force. They were deliberately chosen.
I beg to differ. There was not any one time that I was privy to any information with regards this Ghanaian issue at the NIA at the time.
Wati man soto wato me alonko ntenga kibar koyo soto nyingana nkola kuoto wo NIA wato membe NIA je wo tembo.
Let me ask you, would it have been wise to select Jallo?
For abekela nyano wote mpuruka Jallo tombomba.
Usman Jallo in your office.
Usman Jallo in office.
Usman is a very blunt person. Would not have been wise. He was going to speak his mind.
Usman mumoleti me alon tilimu kadia alunni ateta fanang alamiro ay
because he has a foreknowledge.
Kato ay londi soto nyin kuoto le
from point A, the initial point, he has all the knowledge.
Birin ko follow dula simfa follow ay londo beso.
So to corrupt his mind will be difficult.
Woto purkana asondo mo yele man.
They decided to bring some of us here who had no knowledge about it.
Purka sondo mo filindi abe koleala walana ye mo luta meni alon ko mam femfel long akwoto.
Council,
also,
please let me learn, Council.
But also, they selected the heads of the institutions who would have the information and asked them to cover up. There was no better way of doing it.
Somehow, In fact, in order to add more secrecy to that operation, this is why they initially wanted it housed at the NIA. I was afraid that if there is any leakage, I am going to be the first person to be asked. This is why we rejected that. No. Hence the police started. Let's do it at the police headquarters. Sorry, sir. And I came to learn that the CMC was totally new in this whole thing. He had no knowledge. He was never involved. I was never involved or had prior knowledge to whatever they have been investigating. Likewise, Aziz.
But nonetheless, you all knew that this was a cover-up operation.
Let us not labor on that. I said that is it. It is.
And by participating in covert operations, you have pretty much violated the laws of this country. Because you are furthering the purposes of a criminal enterprise.
I disagree, sir. I was not investigating.
We don't have to.
What I knew,
we don't have to argue on that. Leave that to the commission. But knowing what you know now, in fact, no. Let me revise that question. Knowing what you knew at the time, you tried to play both sides. Tried not to be very involved. Isn't it because of your knowledge that this was wrong?
True.
And do you have any regrets?
I do.
Tell us.
It's sad that innocent lives were lost. But this is so. We will have to take the executive accountable. In my profession as a security officer, there is a hypothesis that a wrong information was peddled by some pseudo-intelligence officers. Who report directly to the presidency at the time. If the officer commanding investigation at that time the director of operations at that time had verified that, ascertained that these people were illegal immigrants, those refuting the fact that they were mercenaries. But the hypothesis would be, having gone through the testimonies of Martin Kerry, when they left Barra all the way to Banjul Terminal, They were seen by some security officers, probably the soldiers. And if I'm right, based on his testimony, they were shot at. That is when they turned back to go back to Bara. Correct me if I am wrong, sir. In order to justify that negligence and that uncalled shooting, taking into consideration the celebration held at the time, could it possibly be those pseudo-intelligence officers must have misconstrued that fact? To hide or to wash off all the mess that was created, opening fire on boats for nothing. In order to authenticate or to justify those negligence, could it possibly be that they will say these are mercenaries we are shooting at? Let me learn, sir. And those debunking the initial report presented by those security officers that these are illegal immigrants. This is why I say it's hypothetical. I'm not saying that is what happened.
But Mr. Witness, that is clearly a red herring. It just takes us to no man's land. It is of no significance. Because the law is about how you treat a person who has been brought under official custody.
I think I said that earlier. If you look at the entire operations, from the day of arrest to the day of all the killings, from my detail, it's inside 48 hours or less 48 hours.
No, 1 week.
Where was such investigation conducted to condemn those people? Let me learn, sir. Which institution did the investigation and brought in the case files? Which court had their case? Which judge give those sentences? So I think this was the blunted disregard for human rights. Wastage of life for nothing. Due to impatience.
Or paranoia. No further questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Counsel, and thank you, Mr. Drammeh, for your testimony.
Yaman ko inumbarabake counsel, inumbarabake sedo, Mr. Drammeh, ila sedan.
Commissioners, if you have any questions, someone to ask, please indicate.
Commissioner ni momo nyinin karo soro sedo isa yitande.
There are no. Commissioner Samba, you have the floor, please.
Commissioner Samba.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Drammeh, until after you kala question kilinala yemem fu alla meeting ko to ka fuko nalbe meeting wala ka ke weekend wala kon.
Left you kala ku kilinala Mr. Drammeh. I want to ask you one thing, Mr. Drammeh. About your meetings, you said your meetings are always held at weekends.
And I
think working hours start from Monday to Friday.
working hours weekend
Then why is it that you don't have your meetings during working hours? You have to do your meetings during weekends.
Madam Baraka.
Thank you very much, Madam.
Security la doko ni doku dol manke kilinti.
The work of the security units are different from other units.
Security la doko is 24 hours.
The work assigned to security goes on for 24 hours.
Security buka close doko la.
Security people don't close from work.
And I'm not saying that doko nkake weekend or damalla.
And I'm not saying that we work only during weekends.
As far as inteya kalamuta.
As far as, according to my knowledge,
jama na doko kake police headquarters leto.
most of our work is done at the police headquarters.
At our convenience, asatra na doku tila na doko nyantamin bekela ngabang.
That happens after our daily chores have been done and our work has been completed for the day.
Nimol jita.
After we close from work,
asatra na doko ban na official to.
And by that time we have completed the jobs at the offices, then we meet.
And when
we meet, the questions that come up, we discuss it amongst ourselves and try to see the way forward. And it doesn't mean that a lot of meetings were held.
As far as I know, meeting attend police headquarters.
As far as I know, I attended only 2 meetings at the police headquarters.
And I remember meeting sort of weekend because timely binding.
And I remember there were only 2 meetings which were held during weekends because we were running after time.
And in that meeting, in
that meeting, I attended 1 meeting.
I hope you have a question answer.
I hope I have answered your question.
Question
My second question is,
alter securities yol al nyanta mune fola Ghanaian wol ye pour ka I hake dani because faro menketa alter security le atina faro keta.
You security people, what do you have to tell the Ghanaians to ask for forgiveness because the killing was carried out by security units of this country?
The
reason for saying that is,
Kabirin day one.
From day one,
security officers
security officers who went to collect these people from the beach, they said these people are here to fight. But not a single one of these people were having arms. And each of them had only 1 small bag. And a report was forwarded saying that these people were mercenaries. A second one also went.
The same thing.
The same report was given by the second person, and none of them stood to say that these people are migrants.
And the
reason for that is all of them were seeking positions from Yaya Jammeh. They all wanted positions, higher positions, and whereby Yaya Jammeh will think that these people are helping me to secure me.
Top officers they are known for investigation, and we are main investigate tonyate ikatalo ikafuko mercenaries
and all those who were involved were top-ranking officers from security units, and they all stood and gave false information to Yaya Jammeh for their own interests. And what resulted from that was innocent foreigners were killed for no apparent reason.
So ite muna soto me alon ko sidani roke men satina ye yam faye kan ko telefona bulata o mol konol.
Now what do you have to say to ask for forgiveness because all of you were involved in this thing?
Abaraka.
Thank you.
Na mira kol kata nyame sorry de for my long but nga mira ilafta filila kata nyinto domonding. Well,
how things were going, I think there is something where you want to miss.
Nim filita
If I go astray, just bring me back onto the path.
Nami moy testimony follow to minu nata jang.
The first testimonies I listened to, those who came here, the first ones.
Mo follow min ko itul frata bara fo itul nyani nyunu nya.
The first people who said that they saw these people when they met at Bara face to face.
Min kata Usman Jaloti.
One of them being Usman Jallo.
A reporter Alfaya.
He went and gave his report to his senior.
Aya tandiko nyunu ne manke buenka rangote.
He informed his boss that these people are not mercenaries.
Anala wo boss fana.
And his boss also.
Nga jike I wo kuma kilingole fo ala Alfaya wolem the director general.
I think he also forwarded the same information to his director general.
Kumo bota daoda ka foko nyunu mercenary.
Wherever this information came from, saying that these people are mercenaries.
I think what question is for the president, the former president Yaya Jammeh.
I think that question is for the former president Yaya Jammeh.
And namira commissioner nyinto fana.
And I think from the commission also,
minio faroke,
the people who did those killings,
minu nataja keta jongla solti ko tolle mol fa.
Those who came here and confessed that they are junglers, they are the people who did the killing. They are the people who killed these Ghanaians and the others. And that was not the end. They killed other Gambian citizens. I think they explained where they get their orders, who asked them to go and kill these people.
Security soul.
The security people.
We all know that we all know that
the junglers are here in this country.
Nobody
was, nobody had the daring mind to face these people. People were afraid of them.
Being said, Sino Janga for Jongulaten, but Wotumo Momote Hanyere Kumo for Jongulali.
Today we can sit down here and talk about the junglers, junglers this, junglers that. But in those days, nobody had the daring mind to talk about the junglers or even face them.
And be alhamdulillah.
But today, thanks to Allah, they themselves came here. They confessed to the killings.
Security
There were some security people didn't take part. The police were not involved. The NIA were not involved. The other soldiers were not part
because the creation of even these junglers is illegal.
Because the creation of that unit, the junglers, is even illegal.
Because the Gambia Armed Forces Act
because the Gambia Armed Forces,
no person shall be allowed to create any other forces within the outside the Gambia Armed Forces.
Because the forces are already here, so nobody should create another force which is different from the Gambia Armed Forces. But as things go, they did everything.
And we all know that Jongulal be Sabatrin State House lekono.
And we all know that the Jongulas are based at State House.
Under the State Guards.
Under the State Guards.
Jang securities dolly muneke wato.
What did the other securities do about that?
Madam, Ninde ngajele ko.
Madam, I've seen it that.
Wandi dingol ka wol tajiriya ke fa kensen amanyang.
Innocent people, foreigners, to get hold of them and brutalize them is very wrong.
Amanda foreigner hadamadi ke fa kensen amman faruko ke mamra nyang takel.
Not only foreigners, any human being who didn't commit anything wrong, much more killing people, they should not be arrested and killed. This is something which made everybody sad. But those who did the killing, definitely they came here and said that they did the killings. The reasons why they did the killing, the person who gave them the orders,
they
narrated everything here.
Inte de ma fenne dia security bulo bula damen ko mi alon ko on sa for security sol lefa.
Well, I have not seen in any instance where that one can say that.
I am sorry, the Barngamira Jongula Lesita Jang Besirindam, Itolo Farolke.
If I say something wrong, I'm sorry, but I think it was the junglers who came here, sat down here, confessed that they did these killings.
So the bulk of Jabiro.
Well, the bulk of this answer, I think the junglers can give the answers to that.
Personally.
Me personally, if things come from my side, this is very painful. And it is very sad. You catch somebody, you don't find even a stick with him. You don't find any arms with him. You didn't investigate. You didn't take that person to court. You didn't take that person to the law. And you decide to do away with them in this manner. It's very sad. And it is very painful. I will quote one hadith.
Imam, I stand to be corrected.
Imam, well, I stand to be corrected.
Man kana tu hijratuhu li dunya aw yusibuha yankihuha fa hijratuhu ila ma hajara ilayhi. Ni momorandi yakoku ka minke nyin dunya ko le kamala.
If you commit any crime or if you do anything just because of these worldly matters,
Inshallah, Allah
will pay you the price.
Question or answer.
I don't know if I have answered your question. The reason why I said that you also contributed,
because
because the report which was given,
Gambia government
I think you said it here that Gambia government said you should be very careful about what to say and what to do.
And
And all of you knew at that time that these migrants just missed their way and came here. But they are innocent, they didn't commit any crime, they didn't do anything. When you were advised to be careful of what to say and what to do when these investigators come here, you should have told those people there and then, well, this and this has happened, this and this has happened, so why shouldn't we come out with the truth?
Madam Itonya.
You are right, madam. But I want to show you one thing. We didn't carry out any investigation. What we were tasked to do, I beg your pardon? What they asked was, I'm talking about the task force. What they asked is what the government gave to us so that we can hand it over to them. We want to go to so and so place, we carry them there. We want to talk to so and so, and we make sure that we bring that person. What you said is quite true.
But under the circumstances at that time,
what they said and what they wanted to be done, and if you go against that, if it was me, Ebrima Drammeh, it might be possible that I will not be able to sit down here today and talk. But all what you said is true. But how things panned out at that time, if you see something taking a trend, those who committed all these crimes, they brought here, they were brought here so that they can come. Those who didn't do anything, they don't do anything. Well, those are the people they brought up. What you said is true.
I hope Ngela question answer.
Okay, thank you very much. We all
know the era that has just ended. The Mandinka proverb said, if they compare two people for you, your friend and somebody else, you will choose your friend. But if you are compared yourself with your friend, you will take yourself, you will choose yourself. I think may Allah have mercy on his soul, but what Ben did, he lost his position, but he remained with Allah. And you people also who come here to testify, if you narrate as you did, well, this mingling going around will not have happened. Because we all knew what transpired here in those days. What I can say at this position is that all those who were involved, you ask for forgiveness from Allah and those you have offended. But there is a proverb which says that a donkey shaking its head cannot drop its ears.
Madam Ngela Kumomoy,
I've heard your statement, madam.
Mandingol
said that a soap cannot wash itself.
William Shakespeare
said,
there is no art to find the mind's construction on the face.
Kuta kering mense mo hasondo mo kono kunya luje anyadato.
Bochinua achebe ko.
One
can pick a ripe corn by its looks. One can pick a ripe corn by its looks.
Mosi tubanyi moringo suteno akalangolale.
Madam Mbotadula kolangole kono.
Madam, we've just left a very difficult era. May Allah protect us and keep us away from anything like that again. But why this TRRC is so good? It is so... People who took these honors on them and came here, they knew the crimes they committed. Just like what brought me here today. First of all, the incident of these Ghanaians didn't find me in this country. Junglers went and killed all of them. 3 years after, investigators came, and by that time, internal investigations were done, which I was not aware of.
Tax force
and they said I was part of a task force. And they said if these people investigations whatever they ask, let's base They told us to answer their questions based on this paper given to us, and wherever they want to go, let's take them out there. I'm just saying things to shorten the whole thing. A destructive thing happened in this country. Some terrible things happened in this country. 50-something lives. Just to destroy them like that.
Especially among reasonable, there was no reasonable or actionable intelligence.
Especially Dalila Tala, no reason. That thing is very sad, and it's really, really mind-blogging.
And I pray to Allah that
and I pray to Allah, never again something like this to happen in this country.
Thank you.
Imam Jallo, you have the floor, please.
Imam Jallo fana lafte ñinin kala.
Witness,
Ako sedo.
my question is going to hinge on just how you have ended.
Na ñinin karo be denna ila kumo kumfa dulale la ten sai.
We pray that such a thing should not happen anymore in this country.
Na ala dani ñi ñongo nina kana ke ñim banko kan kotake.
But the picture is,
Bari niye kolu jube akame yitandila.
you people were created to create a report that was not true.
Ya telu sindi ñina kam purali kibar kensum mem manke toñati.
Knowingly or unknowingly, you promoted the report.
Aliya lombang, alima lombang, aliyo kibaro leta ka tambindi.
And today, many of you are still in the service of the Gambia government.
Adum mo jama be al kono bi halimbi ibe do ko la Gambia man sakunda kono.
Even if you regret the actions that were taken,
Anning indi mi sata wo kolu la menu ketanu wotumo.
but this is contradictory to any form of religion or action related to human nature.
Bari ñimmu kuleti men nin dina wo dina manta andun hadama ya memmu moya timaringoti ani wolu kokundin fana manta.
Now my question is,
Say nañu nin karo mu menti.
how did you manage to live under this circumstance?
Ay itetano ibaluta ñaadi le ñin kolu la nya koto.
Judging from the outlook you portray as a very religious person and truthful, truly you are a truthful person.
Kaitandi ko etemu dina mole te andun tonya mole muiti fanang puru ila kolu tamandi ñato.
But you have been convinced by circumstances beyond your control, maybe.
Bari kulunata dungi sondo moto foisi son tala bar kulle fanal mu men ya lonko ite fang man kuno je utumo
to take part in an action that is totally illegal.
pour kama be kuto ka tamandi me ya lonko anin silo manta.
And now you are living to see what had happened in the past.
Saying ibe jang ibe balurin kaje men ketanun komanto e halimbi nya nya.
The whole world presently in the Gambia is talking about for security sector reform.
Adum bi dunia karobe sako Gambia jang be men fokan wolem falingu men nyantanala na kantonin tankada do ku bundala.
I want you to advise us, the young people in this country,
Lafta yen ya mari sako funding kewlu men be nyim banko kan.
about the oath of office you take,
Ka fonni be do ku palaso tala ofiso ikakaliyo menke
and your conscience,
ni te fangola sonde me miraro
to ensure that,
pour ka jeko
as you had quoted earlier in the Holy Quran,
oye al-Quran al-Karim la kuma kangulu mennu banke jang
that one fine day you will answer for your actions.
ko lumbe sila memmen keta ibe nyatelin nalale.
Because our younger generation should be trained to have conscience and to act according to law and to real conviction.
Oton na funding kewlu menu be wulikan nyante karandilale kulur nya nyimmala ye lua long ya bunya andung ila hadamaya ila sondomo fana ninyi simenyola memu tilingundin to nya fasati.
How can you relate this with the sector reform that is going to come for particularly the armed forces of the Gambia?
Saying dinkira falingo menyanta kala kanton in tankadati ibenyulu sembendi la nyola nyadi le meya lonko falingo nyanta kala na kanton in tankada bundale la nyimbanko kan.
Thank you.
Inumbara.
Ya Imam.
Ya Imam.
Al-Imamun ra'in wal-Imamu mas'ulu wa ra'iyati. Kullukum ra'in wa kullukum mas'ulu an ra'iyatihi. Imam, is up to the laughter fenkling. I want to clarify one issue.
Imam lefta kuma kilin sene yandi la jam.
I have never been involved in any investigation with regards to this Ghanaian issue whatsoever.
Nene man tara kisir kono men keta nyin ganan kol la koti.
But I was a task force member
Bari ntarta kafu kono ye menu nyala tombong
to facilitate
pour ka do ko tamandi
issues between the fact-finding mission and the Gambia government.
kolu menu denta kolu Kenya la wo tonya nyinina lu menu binala jang anin Gambia man sakundate.
Anything presented to that fact-finding mission
Wo kundi dita wo tonya nyinina lu
is given to us to give.
ya din tolu lale
It's not our making.
ya din tolu lalde pour nga di
Many investigation okay earlier on.
ni man chance din nanta kana sorno la de
So
yo kayto din te lale pour nga di wo luntangulu la menu bina bari a manke ko ntelle fanglu sita nga o kayto dada
Kana zorra kana jusubo do.
ani manjusubo laftale moli ya moy ikamemfo katu wala enati jang
Kana kamfa.
ani kamfa kunta astaghfirullah wonda lilonde.
Thank you so much.
Laftale moli ya moy ikamemfo katu ngamire inata wala jang.
Anyway, kana zorla will go by your pace.
Bituo ngatenteng.
Order.
Yeah, Imam.
Order.
Imam.
One of the ways
silolu kono kilimbije
is for every executive
wolem nyatonka wo nyatonka
to respect
soto
the establishments that are under your purview.
When
they advise you from any professional point of view, for you to look into it soberly. We are aware of the facts that what the Mandinka will say, Mansa tulo diata tulo jamfata.
Leaders' ears are very, very sharp and they go for a long distance. And that's how their eyes also zoom. And their arms are also long.
If we are to go by what the deductions were made by the various people before me,
ning ayatara nga kolu ta nyinna molu menu folo tan tolu nyato woli kolu menu hapu ye haima ye bondi,
and all the witnesses that came before me,
and in sedolu menu be lo tan te nyato,
they succinctly said that these people were illegal immigrants and not mercenaries.
Will be nyine blanke na mako nyilu mu uda ilaleti bari manke boyin kandir laluti.
So the idea and the decision that these people were mercenaries did not come from them.
Woto wolu menu keta o kuma fola fololuti ka foko nyilu mu boyin kandir laluleti wo kuma mambo wolu bulude.
This is why I say pseudo intelligence officers.
Wala na nganyim foko ka fo danko doron kullo dinkarin do kulalu.
So it's good that whatever executive it is that is there, it must have to believe.
In the
critical analytical report presented to them. To look at them soberly before you arrive at any decision. Number two, there is the need for us to look into the laws. As superior officers, not under any circumstances, as superior authorities, not under any circumstance, should false information be peddled to your junior ranks. Nor be asked to do the wrong thing. I think these are areas that need to be strengthened, so that not all and sundry will be at leverage to do whatever they want to do. On the basis and or the platform that I am superior officer. Above all, we must have faith. And at all times, be prepared to establish the truth. Our conscience must be clear. Council will agree with me. In my first pre-hearing prior to my first appearance, I touched this, I said, I think I want to tell you about this Ghanaian thing. Because that was the right time now for me to talk. Like I said, if I had talked earlier,
bare ko ngafunu nyami nindi amutanu wotembo
probably the junglers would have paid me a visit.
Asike no jongla solu yenan kumbabo.
Yeah, Imam, I suppose I've answered your question.
Yeah, Imam ngamira ngela kumaka mujabile.
Thank you, Mr. Drammeh. If you have any concluding remarks to make, please proceed to do so now.
Mr. Drammeh ni fanambela kumoka ngolu kumfala kacha menna ibilafta memfala banko mwele nketele la moyi bismillah.
Can we make it short, considering you having a second bite at the cherry?
Bidung council kon ni sa suti yandinode ka kindiri fulanja ko bijel.
Yeah, je nunkana ja wati.
You see, whenever I am coming here,
Ngampare lead council esa falle kama.
I always prepare myself for lead council esa fall.
Ningbe essential leta nga full tank leta.
If I am taking fuel, I always take a full tank.
I admire your courage.
Ila jusu bengo ayenyabu bake.
I admire your bravado.
Ila fatia anila kolu lanya ayenyabo.
All of you are honorable citizens of this country.
Atel bemu banku din kendo leti menu ni mbunya besiri nyim banko kan.
You're sitting here
Ila siwo jang
trying to establish the truth.
purka katakatonya sabatindi.
The facts
Ka kusoto ngulu banke.
of all these abuses that had occurred
Nyin
in this
tajire yalu ni nyi nyanta tinyalu menu beketa.
is such a honorable job.
Womu do ku bunyari mbaleti.
It is very, very sacrosanct.
Andun do kolo meya lonko ani horomolemu.
It's only Allah
Ala dronnemu
that will reward you people.
memba telu jola.
This commission
Nying commission
was long overdue.
nying anyanta nala juna lenung.
My advice to the Gambian people
Na yamaro membendi la Gambian kolula.
is few.
Adoyata.
Let us be peace-loving.
Ngake Cairo kanun teuluti.
Let us be patriotic.
Ngake banko kanulalti banku din kendolu.
Let us try to love one another.
Nganyo kanu, nganyo horoma nganyo bunya.
The Prophet Muhammad said,
Mbela kila Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
even where has he come across someone's evil or wrong deeds,
Ako hanina ta ilota mola kolu kuna ilota ngaibo kunto. Menketa kuja woti.
if you cannot advise him to stop,
Nita ya marno la prayo kuruya bula.
please keep quiet.
Woto ite ede.
Today, every day,
Luolung
we are insulting one another.
mbenyo nenna.
People do not have regards even for elders.
Molu mahani kebalu imang alifalu bunya.
My principle
Ntela sarto.
was few.
Doyata nu.
First of all,
Follow.
I know that I am an African
Ngalong kontemu mofindu dingoleti.
and I'm not an European or an Asian or an Arab.
Adum manke Arab tim manke Europe bankudinti manke Asia tundo bankudinti.
I know that I am a Gambian
Ngalong kontemu Gambian koleti.
and I know that I have a religion
Andu ngalong ko dino mbewole kono dino le bembulu.
and I belong to one ethnic group in this country.
Mbota si kilina kono nyimbanko ka.
These four places that these four tenets that I've spoken about,
Nganyim bunda na nulu mena kumo foteng.
they all have values, norms, you name it.
Ibeye barakadal lesoto taranyalu keta kolu anin ku kendolu men be dendingale isa be fo afoje
But when you
dawdama
fall within that confine,
adu nina tatara wo kolu kono
it will guide you.
awole be kelela tarambuloti kat wole be silo
It's
yitandilela
very unspeakable. People insulting elders today in this country.
nyimmu ku fo baloleti ku ke balolem
Where
molu
is
be
our
nyim
culture
banko
and
kam
where is our religion?
ibe molu nenna ibe ke balu nenna mem fango ninna dino manta
What is our being African and being Gambian?
mune ketab dalilo munte lag mofin diya na Gambia diya silang
I think
adalilo mumune
we decide to respect one another
ngamira nsinyinta kanyo bunya
and we decide to argue based on substance,
andu nimbe ko kundinkela ke kuti membe semberin kula
we will move forward.
ninga tawo nya ngal tonya sabati nimbitala le
Let's stop the talking and act now.
nga dia mobula nga kuketalu no nga tonya tamandi.
Mr. Chairman, it seems as if you want to signal me.
Mr. Chairman ngamira ilafta
No,
ilafta signal
No.
Chairman ko hani
Please go on.
Very important.
Kumayata bake.
If at all your father was not killed,
ning ayatara imemari fa mafa,
if your uncle was not killed,
imebarim fa,
your auntie wasn't killed,
imebinki fa,
your niece, nephews weren't killed or tortured,
imebarindungulu fa walla imemuta ke tajireya,
or incarcerated,
walla imemuta yesorong,
that culture of denial must stop.
woto nawolodula ka kolu soso hani ku soto ngolu kay soso alinga wobula.
I am also with a concern
adun deun kudo fanam bendala
that this honorable commission,
ko nyin commission buñaringo,
this very important commission,
nyin commission kumma ba
should not be taken for a ride.
molu kanata ka ke tulundanti.
I hope and I know
mbe jikiring adun ngani lonko
witnesses that comes here and lie to this commission.
sedol men kana fania fo nyin commission
I'm sure you have a way to deal with those people.
na lonko ali esilo soto la nyanta mo la ko la nyame.
I want to take this opportunity to go a little bit out of our topic.
Lafta silo tala domande ngafinti na diamu kolu kono.
Mr.
Chairman,
Honorable Council,
and Honorable Council,
witness do sotota sita jang.
said one witness came and sat here.
According to 2 tons drug destroyed by the drug law enforcement agency was not correct, was not done.
He said the 2 tons of drug, drug sira fengo, ton fulo mem mutata jang, inatanyim foko yewolu be janile katinya ako manke.
I have documents here. When that drug was handed over by the then principal magistrate of Banjul,
principal magistrate member num Banjul Bria Saundi,
when he was handing over that drug, in the presence of all the security establishment in this country, who had keys to the store or the place where these drugs were kept. The weight and measures were present. They took the women, the weight, everything, and it was exactly what was put in there. I have this document to debunk that statement, so that people coming to this honorable commission should stop lying.
Mr. Witness, I think if you have something to prove something that has been said before the commission, perhaps there should be a better way to do it. Send the information to the commission and the commission would look at it. Or write something in the newspaper and state your position. But certainly what you have is no proof that the drug was destroyed. All you have is proof that the drug was handed over to state officials. So, but we are not here inquiring about drugs.
It's because someone came here and lied before this honorable commission.
Yes, but that's your position, that's your view, that the person lied. Lots of testimonies have been had here, and you have divided opinions as to who is being truthful and who is lying. So the statement you're making certainly is in defense of people that you work with, people who serve in the same institution as you. Laudable as that may be, perhaps there should have been a better way of doing it.
No, this witness is not working with us even.
No, what I mean is, it is in defense of the integrity of law enforcement
Exactly.
agents. So it could have been done differently. If you had liaised with me, perhaps I would have guided you as to how to do it.
Thank you so much.
Because if you have relevant evidence, perhaps this is not the time to but anyway, I just thought I should say that. But this is certainly not an exonerating point. It just shows that the drugs was entrusted into the hands of state agents. And that is what the witness said. You know, what you have is no proof of the fact that the drug did not disappear afterwards, or that part of the drug did not disappear afterwards. So thank you.
And this is the time that I would indicate my position on how you're going. If you can conclude your remarks, I would appreciate it very much. We have another witness that we're preparing for, and the video link arrangement, there is some time element involved in that. But please continue. If you
I once more thank everybody in this hall. And I thank the Gambia people for the patience that they have. It's not easy when you are alleged, or when someone alleged that this guy killed your father or did that to your family member.
Aman sono ya kanyin fulondiko nyin kari fulana nyine fa wala nyine nyin ku kari kela badin kari la.
And you are still having the patience and waiting for the law to take its course.
Adung hanimbi be siring ibe munyaring iko ka luale batu pour loi silo nyinta.
To the Ghanaian families,
sako Ghana dimbayalu
whose people, whose sons were killed,
ye menu dingulu ni badingulu fajang.
I pray to Almighty Allah that
mbe ala danila
Allah give them all the courage and patience
for Allah si ahammo aning amunyo dundi ibeso ndo mokono
accept this unfortunate situation.
We are
thankful to Allah that the truth has been revealed. That definitely rogue officer and rogue regime actually was involved in this whole incident. And I admire their courage to come here to say they killed and did that.
Ukilinde ye jusubengo men soto kanalo janka foko itele faroke ntele nyinni nyinke ako ilawo jusubengo we diata nyin.
Definitely it is just extraordinary.
Aketa nyinti aketa kukawa kuoleti.
The Ghanaian government,
bitun Ghana man sakunda fanana karola,
I hope they will look for find a place in their heart
ngamira isi dinkira soto ijusolu kono
to continue to accept the Gambia as a younger brother.
Isi continue ye Gambia mutako idokole mo Gambia bankoti.
And the Gambia government
adun Gambia man sakunda
to be able to apologize sincerely to the Ghanaian authorities.
Isi bolo sayo ke bolo say saharing men timata kawo bolo sayo di Ghana
alongside other nationalities, the countries of other nationalities involved.
Anim banku kotenglu fanan la molu meni tata o faro kono.
And the world at large.
Anin dunia mumeobe.
This was really despicable. It is, you just cannot imagine or believe that it has happened. But we pray to Almighty Allah that He is able to give us all the courage to accept this reality. And we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so that it does not happen again. As depicted in your slogan, never again.
Never again.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Shukran, Sayyid Drammeh. Thank you very much for your testimony and for your very, very wise concluding remarks.
Mr. Drammeh, ila sede aro kang ani kumakang kumfa kumaka nyimmalu menula.
We will take a break now. Council is the next witness ready, and the video link arrangements have been put in place. And can we start them in about an hour or so? Is that okay, or you want us to start a bit earlier, depending on the arrangements that you've worked out with the witness?
I stand guided by you, Mr. Chair. I do want to believe that the arrangements are in place, so 1 hour, we
Fine.
can come back.
We will resume then at 3:30. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you again very much, Mr. Drammeh.